What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Here we are a few days later after I installed the traction bar. You know, I'm trying to get this car aligned, you know, because that's definitely a priority to get this thing on the road and, you know, not waste my tires for no reason. So I went out to AutoZone and got me all these pieces for my steering column. So I got the inner and the outer tie rod. You know, I want to just put them in there all brand new. You know, it's definitely not the OEM or any high performance, but for as much as I pretty much drive this car, I think this should be all right for now. And if down the road it goes bad, you know, they got lifetime warranty, or I'll upgrade to something fancier. You know, I figured I'd make a quick little video just showing you guys the process. As you guys can see, I already got this brand new one on here, and I ordered those little, I don't know what you call it, the little boot. I think that's what you call it, the little boot. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the inner, the little coil looking thing, just to keep all that dust out of your rack and pinion. So, you know, I still haven't done this side. So all I got left here is to mount my tire on here and then put it down. You know, I just wanted to show you guys that I already took care of this side. So put the tire on here and get to the other side, and then I'll show you guys a little bit of the process. So as you guys can see, the boot is all torn up. You know, I'm sure it's never been replaced. So before we get into the inner tie rod, I'm gonna slice this old boot. That way I could get in there and, you know, break it loose from the rack and pinion. That boot pretty much covers, you know, the bolt where you lock the inner tie rod onto the rack and pinion. But first, let me get in the car and turn the wheel all the way to the left. That way it could push the rack and pinion out, and it'll let me access the little nut a lot easier on this side. I'm just gonna slice this, get it out of the way. Alright, so that's good enough. As you guys can see, this thing was just torn up. You know, probably has like 31, 32 years of it being on here. So this thing's all dirty and nasty, greasy, because I came in here before, and since it was torn, I greased it all up just so it'd be nice and lubricated and it won't rust on me, because I knew I was gonna come in here and replace all this at one point, and here we are now. And then so now that this is exposed, the little nut is in here. This is where the little nut comes in. But I gotta remove this first, that way I have, you know, good access of it. So what I like to do is like to get one of these paint markers and come in here and just mark where the nut is already. That way when I put the new ones, I kind of measure the same length. You know, the car's not aligned, but it'll get me close enough to where I could drive it to the alignment place. So it's nice and marked now, so now I'm just gonna break it loose and start taking it apart. Alright guys, so if you guys can see this is so bad. So, you know, they should be pretty solid. It should not be like this at all. So this is one of the biggest reasons why you want to change these frequently, because you know, steering is the most important thing of your car, because that controls where you go, and if your steering is off, you know, it costs you to wreck your car, and you don't want that. So this is, you know, one of the #1 things you want to replace often. So now that it's loose, you know, basically I can come in here and back here, and then back here where it's all nasty and junked up, try to, you know, stick the wrench in there and break it loose, and then I'll clean it all up and you know, put the new one on there. So let me get to this. Alright, so just like that is out. And you see, another thing I ran into is that I'm not sure if this is what you're supposed to do, bend them over so it locks on it, which I'm sure it probably is. because this has two little teeth, you know, one on each side. You know, I don't know if you guys can tell it's broken. And the reason for that is in there, if you guys can see, there's two little grooves, one on each side. See that? And so what's happening is that, you know, it was wrapped around that piece, so when I broke it loose, I basically break these little teeth off. You know, and I'm sure it's, you know, it's a safety thing or something. So I guess they try to be cheap so they don't give you any of the washers. It's pretty dumb because it's just a few more bucks. And then if I wanted the ones with the washer, I was supposed to order it special order, and it was like an extra $20. So I was like, yeah, that's dumb. So all I did was, you know, take out the old ones and then just Loctite it so it doesn't break loose, and then, you know, just put the old washers back on. Nothing fancy. I mean, I don't think it's gonna break loose anyways. Let me finish pulling that little boot off because it's still in there. There's a little clamp in the back holding it down. I gotta unscrew that and break it loose and then pull that piece out, and then we can start installing the new pieces on. Alright, so there's that. Now it's time to put the new inner tie rod in. So I got some heavy duty Loctite, and then I'll throw it on here, give it a good amount, and I don't think it'll go anywhere without that other little lock nut, the little washer it had with the lock. I think it should be alright just like this. Now with my 17mm, I can get in here and lock it up, tighten it up. And I don't think that should go anywhere. So another thing I forgot to do is to measure this onto the new one. So I'll put them just right here, right next to each other. And it should be pretty dead on now. Like I said, the car's not aligned, so I'm not too worried about it. The alignment guy will take care of it, make it good. But right now, you know, it's close enough. Be able to drive it. So now that that's all tightened up, I'm gonna mark this one because I gotta remove the nut completely. I gotta remove the nut completely so I could add the little boot. And just like that, it's ready to go. So as you guys can see, that's pretty much it right there. It's got a little groove where the little boot slides in place. So now all I gotta do is, you know, mount it into the bag, but I'll do that once I'm all done out here. Once I put the outer tie rod. And as you guys can see, this is how a new one should be. It's nice and stiff. You know, it actually takes strength to move it around. That's actually how it's supposed to be. So now this car is gonna feel like I'm driving a new car almost. You know, 100% no slack. So it should be fun now. So now let me throw this nut back on here. And let me put the outer tie rod on. So there it is. This job is pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated. And there it is, all connected. So now all I'm gonna do is turned the wheel back straight. That way I could put that boot on to the back of the rack pinion, and it's pretty much done. All right, so if you guys can see, the boot here slides in pretty good. The other side was real tight. The rack and pinion part had a nice little lip where it didn't want to go in right. So it took me a little while, but this one's nice and easy. So all I'm gonna do is just run this clamp over it and clamp it down, and you know, it should be it. Ready to go. So I guess I had forgotten to lock up the nut for the control arm. So I'm gonna do that now. So now all I gotta do is put the zip tie up here just to give it a little bit of, you know, resistance so it won't slide out of that little groove it's got there. Other than that, this job is pretty much done. Alright guys, so there we have it. Pretty much ready to get it aligned now. So another thing that I need to do is roll my fenders, because like I mentioned in the video when I got my wheels, this thing is so close. So right now I got them cambered in. So I ordered a fender roller, and it should be coming in today. So that should be my next video, me rolling these fenders. Also, I'll have another video of me polishing these lights. Well guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, you know, I got a few more things I'm gonna record, and I'll have new videos pretty soon. So I'm hoping you guys are liking my videos. So stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.